You are asleep, completely out, drooling on your pillow, probably snoring. Zero awareness of the world around you. You are, by every biological definition, helpless. Now imagine you are not in your bedroom. You are in a tent. A thin piece of nylon, embarrassingly thin, separating you from a forest full of animals. Animals that could absolutely end you if they wanted. Lions, bears, wolves, leopards. Creatures that can hear your heartbeat, smell you from a mile away, and see perfectly in the dark while you are just lying there with eyes closed. And yet, you wake up in the morning, every single time. Why? Seriously, think about this for a second. A sleeping human is just meat. Slow meat, quiet meat. Meat that cannot fight back. Meat that cannot run, can barely register what is happening until it is already happening. You would think predators circle campsites every night, like some kind of all-you-can-eat buffet, but they are not. They almost never are. And the reason they are not, it is not just one thing. There are several layered explanations, each one more fascinating than the last. They paint a picture of a strange agreement, an agreement between humans and the wild, an agreement that goes back further than civilization, further than agriculture, further than anything we think of as history. This goes deep. Let's go. Start with what sounds like an ego trip. You are terrifying. Not you specifically right now. Watching or reading this, you are probably fine. Normal. Not particularly scary, but humans as a species to predators. We are genuinely, deeply, evolutionarily frightening. Not in a way that is obvious from looking. We don't have claws, we are not fast. We are not particularly strong for our size. We cannot even see well in the dark. On paper, we are a disaster of an animal. And yet, a study published in 2019 found something remarkable. Conducted by researchers at Santa Cruz. They played audio recordings of human voices near mountain lions, also called pumas, in the Santa Cruz Mountains of California. Just normal human voices, people talking, and the pumas fled. They fled at the same rate they fled from dogs, and in many cases, even faster. These are animals that take down full-grown deer, animals that can drag a kill up a steep hill, animals that are absolute units of predatory efficiency. And they heard a podcast and ran. That was not a one-off result. The same research showed pumas abandoned food they had already killed, food they were in the process of eating. When they heard human voices nearby, they left their meal and moved away. From a survival standpoint, that is an enormous cost. A predator giving up a kill is working for free. The calories burned to make that kill are lost. And they still did it, because the discomfort of being near humans outweighed hunger. That result confirms something biologists noticed. Across multiple continents and species, for a very long time, lions in Africa's Kruger National Park reduced their movement in high human activity areas. Tigers in India give wide berths to villages, even when those villages sit in prime habitat. Jaguars in the Amazon adjusted their movement to avoid locations where humans are regularly present. These are not animals physically incapable of attacking. They are animals that have decided, at a species level, over thousands of generations, that being near us is not worth it. And the reason for that is brutal. One of the most brutal facts in natural history. We have been hunting and killing large predators for so long and so effectively that we have literally shaped their genetics. Think about the scope of that. Humans have been active predators. For somewhere around 2 million years, we hunted mammoths out of existence. We wiped megafauna off entire continents. Giant sloths, woolly rhinos, Saber-toothed cats, cave bears, species that had survived ice ages, vanished within thousands of years of human arrival in their territories. In North America, we hunted wolves to near extinction across the continent. We eliminated mountain lions from the east. We shot, trapped, and poisoned predators so systematically and for so long that the ones alive today are descended from the cautious. That is natural selection. Lions that approached camps too boldly got killed. Wolves that preyed on settlements got hunted down. The predators that kept their distance survived. They treated humans as something to avoid. They reproduced and passed that caution on to their offspring over thousands of generations. That caution became biological. It became instinct. It became the baseline behavior of large predators. So when a leopard picks up your scent at night, somewhere deep in its nervous system, a very old alarm goes off. Not a conscious thought exactly. It is not thinking about human history, but an ancient, wired and inherited signal that says, be careful, don't engage, move on. That alarm has been passed down from every ancestor that survived a close encounter with humans. It is a biological memory, and it runs deep. Now let's talk about your smell. You have probably never thought about how you smell because you are surrounded by other humans. But to a predator operating with a super nose, 100,000 times more sensitive, you are broadcasting an enormous chemical signal. Bears have an incredibly strong sense of smell, 7 times stronger than a bloodhound. Wolves can detect scents from miles away. Big cats have a specialized organ, the Jacobson's organ in their mouth, that essentially lets them taste the air and analyze chemical information. When they encounter a sleeping human, they receive a flood of data that is just wrong. You smell wrong. You smell like synthetic fabrics, nylon, tata, and whatever chemicals were used in manufacturing. You smell like processed food. The meal you ate hours ago, the snacks in your bag. You smell like soap and shampoo and sunscreen and insect repellent. A cocktail of artificial compounds that has no analog in the natural world. Beneath all of that, you smell like a primate, which is something, but it is not the thing, not the deer or the rabbit that these predators have evolved to hunt over millions of years, to recognize and pursue. A predator's hunting instinct is not generic. It is not generic. It is a finely tuned system calibrated to specific prey. A wolf's response is triggered by specific movements. A lion's strike is activated by familiar shapes and smells. Familiar prey it has hunted thousands of times. You don't fit the pattern. You are not in the system. You are an anomaly. Anomalies trigger caution rather than aggression. There is also the campfire effect. One of the most underrated things humans figured out. Fire produces a near universal fear response across virtually all land animals. It is not a learned behavior. It is not something animals figure out from experience. It is innate. It is ancient. Animals afraid of fire survived vile fears. Animals that weren't afraid didn't. The fear is deeply embedded. Even lab-raised animals avoid the smell of smoke. It goes that deep into the genetic code. Humans discovered fire millions of years ago, and for most of that time, sleeping next to a fire has been standard procedure. We weren't doing it just for warmth or cooking. We were doing it maybe unconsciously, because it works as a repellent. A campfire doesn't just keep you warm. It broadcasts a signal into the dark that says something dangerous is here, something that controls fire, something that should be avoided. The predators got that message, and they have been getting it for so long that it triggers avoidance automatically. You figured that out before farming, or writing? Fire first. Smart, move honestly. Now let's tackle the biggest myth about predators. Because movies have got this completely wrong. Predators are not reckless. The image of the fearless, unstoppable killing machine is fiction, pure fiction. In reality, large predators are extraordinarily careful about what they engage with, because they have to be. A lion doesn't have health insurance. A wolf doesn't have sick days. One serious injury, a broken leg, a deep bite wound, a damaged eye, can mean a slow death by starvation. In the wild, injuries don't heal at the vet. They either heal on their own, while the animal still has to hunt, or they don't heal, and the animal dies. This means every decision is a survival calculation. Survival calculation. Is the caloric value worth the risk of injury? Is this prey familiar enough? Is the chance of success high enough? A sleeping human fails this calculation in multiple ways. First, unfamiliarity. A predator is most confident attacking prey it knows. It has watched the prey animal hundreds of times. It knows how a zebra runs, where its blind spots are, how it kicks, when it panics. It does not know how a human will respond. Humans are wildly unpredictable. We might wake up screaming. We might have tools nearby. We might have other humans nearby. We might thrash in unexpected ways. For a predator, that uncertainty is a red flag. Second, the size question. Humans, when they stand up, are pretty big. We are tall, upright, and our bipedal posture makes us appear larger. Standing on two legs is a threat display. It makes us look imposing. It is what gorillas do to intimidate. It is what bears do to look threatening. A creature that walks around like that reads as inherently assertive. Even asleep, the silhouette is unusual. It does not say easy meal. Third, why bother? There are almost always easier options. A predator in a healthy territory has options. It's access to prey it knows and is comfortable hunting. Prey that fits its biological template. Choosing something strange and dangerous makes no sense when there is a perfectly good rabbit nearby. The risk-reward math just doesn't work. Here is something else that rarely comes up. Your sleep is not as deep as you think. This is one of the most astonishing things about our biology. We experience sleep in cycles. You go down into deep, slow-wave sleep, then come back up into lighter stages, including REM sleep, where your brain is active. During those lighter stages, your brain remains responsive. External sounds still get processed. Unfamiliar noises break through into awareness. Scientists call this the Sentinel function of sleep. Even while resting, animals maintain a watch, including humans. Maintaining a partial watch on the environment. Your brain is still filtering sensory input. A twig snapping loudly nearby. The sound of a large animal moving. A change in air pressure or smell. These things can pull you toward waking fast. This is not an accident. Humans who slept too deeply in the past, who were unresponsive to nighttime threats, were less likely to survive. The lighter sleepers survived. They were the ones who reproduced. Over hundreds of thousands of years, human sleep got tuned to stay light to respond to threats. We sleep lighter than most large mammals, partly because of our evolutionary legacy, assuming there are things in the dark worth waking up for. So why you feel helpless when unconscious? You are running a sophisticated warning system. Not perfect, not foolproof, but present. And then there is the group factor. Humans are almost never alone when they camp. We travel in groups, sleep in groups, and those groups respond collectively. Predators understand group dynamics because their prey also forms groups. A wildebeest in the middle is safer. A fish in the center is harder to target. Predators hunt for separation. They look for the isolated individual, the one that has fallen behind. A camp of sleeping humans is a group. If one wakes up and makes noise, they all wake up. The collective defense is unappealing to predators. The risk of a hunt going wrong is too high, so rest easy. The wild knows better than to come in.